Folks, welcome back. Rudy Alpha Investments. Today, I'm going to have to make a follow-up video regarding the Earthbind, the Women of Magic being bought out, and this new mega safe version of the reserve list. Essentially, any Magic card that has a physically fit, curvy styled female artwork on the card that Wizards has disavowed to essentially ever have any form of curvy, physically attractive women or sexually attractive females are pretty much banned from modern culture and society and Magic. The recent events with Magic 30th has really sent a tailspin turmoil into the financial side of things, with Earthbind getting the most amount of buyouts and activities in Alpha, Beta, and Ice and CE cards that I've ever seen in the 20-30 years I've been doing this, and it's quite incredible to watch. So we're going to go through and address a couple things in this video. One, people were asking me, Rudy, what do you think about these other pieces of art in Magic the Gathering cards that have females on them? Two, is this sustainable long term? And three, I mean, is this really a thing or what? So let's start at the beginning here. Yes, since the 2020 mega shakeup in the quarantine tangerine cultural shift of these dramatic things in fear of being canceled and getting attacked from the next wave of whatever mob goes after who or cancels who, Wizards started doing the banning and disavowing of certain Magic cards in the 30-year history, regarding anything from very old cards with obviously very shady artwork, which is part of the history. We've all known they're shady. And of course, women. So, it is a thing. Wizards has made it very clear by literally removing cards and reprinting. I mean, the Magic 30th edition, or 30th anniversary, the fact they actually removed Earthbind, this wasn't like Legends, where they said, okay, everybody open the packs, remove our young lady Gwendolyn. She's too sexually provocative in the artwork. Okay, first of all, that card's been around for 29 years, and it is a very sought-after card. And the fact they opened the packs, sought after the cards, and removed them, which we know somebody out there still has all those cards at Wizards headquarters, it really changed the tone. And now with Magic 30th, where they actually said, don't print Earthbind, it's not even a great card, but just the fact the artwork on the card, which is, again, has existed for 30 years. So, there are other cards with women on them. An example we're going to use today that was brought to my attention by 3 different patrons was the Save Life card from actually the Unhinged, Unglued era from the 2000s. Essentially, it's a beautiful, long, dark-haired woman in a bikini with a pretty beautiful artwork with a guy in the background, like drowning and playing in the water, and the hot chick is like throwing him a life preserver. And but the fact that this has a very curvy, physically attractive female in a bathing suit, obviously based on cultural standards, Wizards is never going to reprint that particular art on that particular card, no matter what. That is the consensus of the market. Because of that, the foil versions, which is the sought-after version of any unset, I think there's 2 or 3 copies online for a couple $100, and that's it. That you essentially, you couldn't even buy 10 of them if you wanted to. And if you did, you're going to pay big money. So, that's what's happened. Obviously, it's made a lot of people very upset, this and that. I really, I find it disappointing that, we can have our Bearscapes, which, again, I'm building my Bearscape deck. I'm not going to lie. I'm all about it. But it's just kind of sad that we can't have women in the artwork like this. It is disappointing, but it's part of culture and society. But I really don't want to focus on that in the video. The focus of the video is me talking about the money side. Now, financially, long-term, people are mostly, my conversations with my patrons and supporters mostly revolve around the money that's being poured into these cards with women on them. The banned women. And my perspective on this is to actually not what you all are going to think. My perspective is use extreme caution. Extreme caution. Because one thing I've learned about life, companies, culture, the ebbs and flows and movement of different eras of how people perceive what's right and wrong, is this chunk of time and culture in our society will evolve again to another stage. Whether it gets stricter and we can't even have women, we gotta, hide them, I don't know. Or it goes the other way. We don't know which way it's gonna go. But I can tell you, as with all long time periods, evolution always occurs. People's perception always changes. And Hasbro is a monster billion-dollar company. And if I was working at Hasbro and I saw the number one most altered Magic cards sold on the black market and Etsy and Alibaba websites is all pretty much women-styled trading cards, Magic, Pokemon, Weiss. I mean, it's all more sexually charged, physically attractive, women-styled artwork that's sold on these third-party proxy type websites. And me, if I was a corporate Hasbro person, as culture and things march forward, it could be 5, 10, 20 years, there's going to be substantial money and opportunity for a corporation to capitalize on this thirst and this desire that is not being fulfilled. So from a business standpoint, I have to tell everyone, again, I love Earthbind. Save Life is kind of I mean, sure, she's pretty on the card and all, but I'm not really a fan of unset regular. I mean, foil uncards are really tough to find, so I get the rarity and scarcity, but Save Life is kind of funny. I mean, that's just kind of a funny card. Earthbind is just a really, I don't know, the artwork is just really wild. Like, the more you look at it, the details and the expression, the feel, and the tone of the art, it's a very strong card. It's like, but as we go forward, long-term investing and collecting on it, markets can change. The same way 10, 20 years ago, this kind of thought process was deemed, nobody ever 10, 20 years ago would have imagined a day where Earthbind, an alpha beta common card, is pushing towards like almost $1,000 a card, especially if you want a clean pack, fresh one, or a graded one. Oh God, it could be over 1,000. I never would have saw that coming. I think I have 2 PSA 10 alpha Earthbinds that I bought originally in 2006 and 2007, 15 years ago. And I paid $35 for each PSA 10 alpha Earthbinds. And I thought that was expensive because Earthbinds was like it was like a $1 card. But if we can change perspectives that drastically over a 10, 15 year block, I tell you all, I encourage you all to be very cautious using these women style cards as a reason, because Wizards is disavowing and can't have physically curvy, attractive, skimpy bathing suits. I understand that's what they're doing now, and we all see it, but just be careful, because I could easily see them reversing course in 5, 10, 20 years when different culture, different public standards, different acceptable maybe the new cancel culture attack who and who, or maybe it swings another direction. Maybe Hasbro needs to raise capital. Maybe they got to hit earnings and they release Secret Lair. I can't imagine the money Hasbro or Wizards of the Coast would make if there was a Secret Lair, Liliana, Chandra, flippin' Earthbind, Save Life, Elvish Ranger. I can't imagine a Secret Lair of like alpha power women, and they made like an International Women's Day and these lead power women are in it, but instead of being, the either, as we joke about on this channel, the Grandma Lily for the new Liliana artwork on the new set, if they used original Steve Argyle artwork, they use these more provocative artwork, and they put that in a Secret Lair, they would make a fortune. Because the amount of males, actually, and females, that want that kind of thing and that are willing to pay for a lot of money is going to be very attractive from a financial standpoint for Papa Hasbro. So, in my point of view, watching all this unfold, I encourage everyone to be very careful buying into these extremely high price spikes on these sexy women cards. Everybody knows that majority of men and women are not saying anything about it, but the data is showing in the third-party proxy websites, these people are making millions selling in the Weiss Schwartz and the, other cultures and the other card games. We call them waifus and things. I mean, the curvy, big-boobed, long-haired, skimpily outfit. I mean, these companies are making a lot of money using that style art to their audience. And no matter what the internet or the loud voice people online are going to tell you, No one wants to talk about this topic. But again, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can cancel me or ban me. Have I already been banned? I think I'm already banned. Am I banned? Or Wizards? I don't know. Maybe it'll get me to retire sooner. But I'm just telling you, this is what's going on. And on a strictly money standpoint, the opportunity for Hasbro or Wizards to make mega bucks on literally something as simple as sexy chicks on cards would be hundreds of millions of dollars on Secret Lair, on different style things. I can't comprehend what it would do. So I want people to be careful, because when I see people buying Earthbinds at these prices, or if I see certain other, there's a list of them. There's like a whole group of people searching out these things now. There's a lot of downside risk. Maybe not short term, because of the strict censorship style that Wizards in our culture is doing today. But when we move forward in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I mean, it's been, this Earthbind card and artwork is 30 years ago. I assure you, the next 30 years, we have no idea how extreme it's going to go in either direction. It could get more stringent where we can't even have a female in general on a Magic card. And if that happens, the prices are going to go higher. Because now it's like this illegal taboo thing to have women in general on. That doesn't make sense, but I thought we would want an equal amount of women in. Anyways, we don't know how it's going to unfold. So if it goes in that favor or the other favor, it's going to swing the card prices. Okay? So I remain not super excited and kind of skeptical looking at that style card as a place to park money long term, because for someone who used to have a real job before I just went back to my parents' basement and just don't get haircuts, one of the things I learned working in a brokerage firm for 5-6 years was every 6, 12, 18 months, the change of management, the quarterly meetings, the goals, the metrics, what was the flavor of the month, what's important, who's in charge, who's the middle management, everything changes. The only thing that's certain is uncertainty. The only thing that's guaranteed with change is that it's always going to happen. And the idea that today's thought process is going to match the thought process of 10, 20, 30 years from now is a very dangerous approach to make when parking capital. So that's what I see. I understand what's going on. I get tons of messages on it that people are just angry. Rudy, why can't I have attractive women on my cards in Magic anymore? From the first 15 to 20 years out of 30 years of Magic, there was all kinds of absolutely just stunningly beautiful women on cards. And we can't even have that. And it makes me angry at Wizards. I get messages like that all the time. Then I get messages on the other side of the coin. I get messages on the other side of the coin saying, a lot of my trans patrons, I think I have like 50 to maybe 75 patrons that may be trans. And a lot of them have been with me a long time. Great people. Ask me all kinds about saving money, investing in the cards. And I mean, great relationships. And they ask the same thing. Rudy, do you think they should allow the sexy women back? Or do you think it should be should they have the male cards the same? It's like, I don't know. I don't have the data Wizards has. But what I can tell you all is that people don't want to talk about it because, you can lose your WPN or get banned or canceled or whatever. I don't know, whatever. And in my opinion, it can go either way. But the reality is, the one fact I know about this banning and sensitivity of women in these cards now is that it's bottlenecking and putting a lot of pressure on a segment of the market that really wants it and is willing to pay money for it. In Basic Finance 101, that I remember, I can just tell you all, not my opinion, but a fact, is money is going to take the flow of least resistance. You always follow the money. If you want to know why Hasbro's doing this, or Hasbro's 30th anniversary, Hasbro is making decisions based on money. Okay? They're taking the path that they feel has the least amount of risk with the most amount of capital returns. They just want to make the most amount of money without taking too much danger. Hence, Magic 30th. You kind of get real close to the reserve list. Although they said fuck you to the spirit of the reserve list, it's technically not breaking the reserve list. Although Mark Rosewater and all these lying sacks of shit say that we don't want to interfere with the spirit. yeah, they can fuck themselves. Because now we all know, all over the world, everybody knows they're full of shit. There's nothing anyone can say. There is no Spirit of the Reserve List. But at the same time, from a legality standpoint, we know they will brush against it, but they won't shatter it. That's what we know. But the reality is, there is a pent-up demand. And the more it gets pushed and hidden and removed and censored, the more that money is going to want to go after that. I mean, the people making the money right now are the people who are selling these wafu, giant-breasted, curvy women, this and that, nude cards, bathing suit cards. I mean, just Google it. Sexy Magic the Gathering card. They're all over these different Chinese websites, Alibaba websites, the Etsy websites, all these independent artists, proxies, altars. It's got to be a multi-million-dollar subsector of Magic the Gathering. And there's going to be a day when Wizards or Hasbro, someone is going to come in and say, why aren't we getting any of this millions and millions of dollars in revenue? That's my concern, folks. So, final comment on this video. I'm sure the comment section will be very heated and everyone's going to get all wound up. But again, this is Alpha Investments. We focus on the financial aspect. That's my point of view when it comes to parking money and investing on these cards based on just the artwork of women. Right now, it does seem like a good investment because they're not going to touch it. But the final thing I want to leave everybody with is just remember, like my example in the corporations and when I had my real job, these people who work these companies and have agendas, whether it's make Hasbro more money, remove women from Magic, ban Alpha Investments, which I think I might already be banned. Somebody told me years ago I was banned 3 times. I don't know. Maybe you get unbanned, like a light switch, you get banned and I don't know. But I assure you all, these people who have these jobs, who work at Hasbro and Wizards, are regular people. Their careers and their time at Wizards of the Coast, Mark Rosewater's time, the men working there, the women working there, the trans working there, everyone in the middle, everyone working there only has so many days, weeks, months, years of a working life cycle of a human being. We all share a common fate, folks. We're only going to work so long. I'm only going to be on YouTube so long. We all have the same end of the road fate. These companies, these brands are eternal. These videos on YouTube are going to be on here long after I'm gone. But I'm telling you all, the people there who are making these decisions are eventually not going to be there. And the people who move in or Hasbro assigns may say, hey, they're going to value money more than the people today who are scared of censorship or women or financial or reserve lists. The new people, next generation that come in, aren't going to care about the old values. Maybe they feel the old values were too soft and they make them stricter. Maybe they think the old values were stupid and they scrap them all. And all of a sudden, Secret Lair bathing suit, swimsuit edition comes out. And these cards tank. Earthbind gets redone into a full art, even more provocative. Save Life comes out, and literally, she's not wearing barely a thong. Bearskate comes out, and there's 20 guys lined up like Human Centipede. That was a gross movie. How do you guys sit through that? Anybody watch that thing? Good Lord. You guys sending me links to that crap. But there's no way to know how the next wave of culture decisions in that meandering movement, the sum of the entire market, there's no way to know what that's going to do. Okay? So that's my speech of it all. That's what I see this stuff. Right now, looks like a pretty good collectible investment because it's probably not going to change anytime soon. But when it does, do they stay the course or do they reset, backpedal, and cash in? Hope you guys learned something. Be nice to each other in the comment section. I'm sure you're going to see all kinds of comments from people who love, hate me, and people who want women all over and nudity cards. You're going to see people that hate women. Just be nice in the comment section. That's why people don't talk about these topics, because people just get crazy. So, a good conversation is something I feel I could handle, but I don't think many people are going to cover this. But in the meantime, it does appear money is going after chicks in Magic because they are considered banned. Have a great day.